your flesh and blood.
Welcome to Tell Me Your Story with Dennis Henson. This is a brand new series we hope that you will enjoy, and it's called Body of Health. Dennis, welcome, and let us start out by telling people about, I guess best way to put it is our disclaimer.
Okay. Well, Richard, thank you so much for having me on this series. I'm really excited about doing this, but I think it's very important that everyone understand that neither of us are medical doctors or have any kind of medical training. We are just people who are very interested in health and being able to get better faster, so that if you have some problem, that gives you a place to go to find things that have worked for other people that may help you, or they may not, but there'll be something worthwhile checking out.
Body of Health is going to be here every week. The website that we're going to suggest you go to for information, number one website is dennisjhenson.com, which we will have in the audio and video podcast videocast. But there's also a Facebook location, and basically it's facebook.com/groups/body of health. Once again, facebook.com/groups, that's plural, groups/body of health. We hope that you will go there to check out the information that Dennis has provided with us. And with that, we move into Body of Health series. I'm Reverend Dr. D. He is Dennis Henson, and we are here not as physicians or doctors. We would never take that on. I know I have Reverend Dr. D and all that good stuff, but it's not a doctor, so don't turn your head and cough, okay? But certainly turn your head and listen, or if you're watching on YouTube, watch and listen to what we have to share with you here on the Body of Health. First of all, Dennis, great to be back with you again. Here we are headed towards virtually the middle of the year. We're headed towards the summer solstice here in June, and it's hard to believe how much time has gone by that we have shared here on this new series we've been bringing to folks since the beginning of the year.
It is. It's amazing, but it's been fun.
It has.
Hopefully it's helped some people out.
I hope so too. Well, I can tell you have, because you've helped me out, because I have been taking a lot of what we've been talking about to heart and putting it into practice. As a matter of fact, I have just placed another order for that wonderful Morning Clarity coffee, so that I can get back on that regimen, as well as some of the other products as well. And we encourage people to go to bodyofhealth.life and find out what that's all about. There's all kinds of great stuff that you can order, and kind of jumping the gun here in one sense, letting you know about this, but I say let's tell you about it. And also remember, when you go to bodyofhealth.life and you place an order for any or all the products, what the heck, put in radio in the coupon or code phrase field, radio, and you get 20% off your order. So please do that. And we encourage you to go there, as well as to other websites we'll tell you about a little bit later on in the program. We're going to dive into another one of these best of kinds of things, and it's going to be the best foods for your health and longevity. And I'm looking forward to that conversation, Dennis. So today we explore this aspect. Let's jump right in there. Is all of this information that we're going to talk about here you've compiled since 2018, if not slightly, before, between you and your wife and other people, that is here to help people to optimize their health. So let's jump into this aspect of the best foods for your health and longevity. Is that correct?
That's correct. The most, or close to the top, important thing is your health. It really doesn't matter if you're super successful and you have a lot of money. If your health is terrible, ask Steve Jobs. Yeah, his final speech pretty much said that. It said, it doesn't matter how successful you are. The things that really matter is that you're healthy enough to enjoy them. And one of the things that is going to ensure that your health, you sustain your health and you're able to enjoy your life is what you put in your body.
Mm-hmm.
And so today we're going to discuss some of the most healthy foods, and actually they're good foods. Before my stroke, I ate anything that was put in front of me, chicken fried steak. I didn't care if it had what kind of oils were involved, or how much sugar it had in it, or whatever else. But after my stroke, and I looked at the diet that was prescribed, I thought, am I going to spend the rest of my life eating just bland foods that just I can't stand? I had to give up Dr. Peppers. And that I remember that now, but I'm looking at the meals that I eat now are actually better. They taste better. I look more forward to them than the ones before 2018, because between my wife and I, we've come up with some wonderful plans. In fact, at the end of this program today, I'm going to offer everybody the free a full week's plan to incorporate all the things that we're talking about, or you could spread it over a month if you wanted to.
Sure.
But I think that's going to be very useful. So let's start out with the first one. Actually, there's 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be for a gut detox, because one of the first things you need to do is heal your gut. Then that will help you take the foods that you're taking in and move them to the right places so that you start to heal your body and live better. And the very first food, number 1, is kind of odd. I would have never thought of it, but it's cabbage.
Mm-hmm.
Cabbage is extremely good for people who have problems with their gut. And something that's even more powerful that's made from cabbage is sauerkraut. Now, the sauerkraut acts as an immune booster, a probiotic, and it has lots of vitamin C, which is critical. So that's the first one. Try to work that into your diet. The next one I really like, but I understand some people don't, and it's broccoli. Broccoli is very high in sulforaphane, and that triggers cellular protection and clears out metabolic waste. The little broccoli sprouts are hundreds of times more powerful than the actual broccoli itself. So if you can, you can work broccoli into your diet, but if you can put the sprouts into your salads, and I love them. I mean, I just love broccoli sprout, but it's extremely good for you. And then the third one is, and you hear this all the time, and it doesn't taste very good to me, but you can work it in to make it taste good.
Mm-hmm.
The Italians do this all the time, and that's garlic. Garlic is great for your blood and your bloodstream to keep your blood flowing, and provides heart support. It regulates your blood pressure. So if you've got problems with your blood pressure, try to work garlic into your diet. Now, if you just hate it, you just can't stand it, which, I understand that. You can get garlic supplements, and you can get them at the bodyofhealth.life, which they don't have any aftertaste. You don't even know that you've had garlic, but it performs the same benefits as if you had eaten the garlic. Now, having said that, it's much better to get it naturally and get it in your food. So you can work it in on pizza. You can put it in your salads. You can cook it in with your meats and so forth. But you want to get as much garlic into your diet as possible. So that's the start with those.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you that it is also good for what ails you. For example, when cold and flu season rolls around, my wife makes this concoction with garlic, and she infuses it in a jar with honey and
Yes.
I want to say golden seal, one of these herbs, and she lets it sit for uh, I don't want to. I want to say 6 weeks, but that's an awful long time. You got to prepare it ahead of time. I mean, and it's going to last a long time. And what you do is, if you start feeling the sniffles coming on, you take a teaspoon of that, and and you're good to go. It usually will knock it down or out. So, garlic is a really good thing. And I will say too, in terms of what you said earlier about putting the right foods or fuel, this kind of got me in trouble. So I'm going to ask that people understand this is an analogy, a metaphor. Okay, I'm not saying you do this, but you've got to make. For example, we have two different kinds of fuels that we put into vehicles. We have diesel engines and we have gasoline engines. You do not want to put the wrong fuel into the engine, into the gas tank, because I do know that if you put gasoline into a diesel engine, yeah, it'll run, but not real well. But you don't want to put diesel into a gasoline engine, diesel into a gasoline, because it'll ruin it. It won't run.
Right.
And that's only because, from what I understand, that diesel actually burns at a lower temperature. But the bottom line that I'm trying to get to is this: don't put the wrong fuels in your body's tank, because it needs certain things in order to create the chemistry that is going to give you that optimal health. And one of the things that's so interesting, Dennis, is that there are a lot of folks, they're high performers, they're out there, they're go-getters and so forth, and they want to continue to go and get it, so to speak, throughout their entire lives. And what they need, of course, is they need some kind of heart strengthening as well as brain strengthening, because a lot of people are concerned about, like, I remember hearing this, that if you drink alcohol, you drink too much, you start destroying brain cells. And yet at the same time, I also heard, oh yeah, you have a brand new body every 7 years because all those trillions of cells are replaced. I don't know if that includes the brain cells. So rather than dealing with the issue therein of destroying the brain cells, let's strengthen the brain, let's strengthen the heart, and let's talk a little bit about that for those who are just out there and they're doing it. They're just having a great time, and they don't want to stop having a great time.
Well, the foods for brain health and longevity start with avocado. And
Mm.
a lot of people love avocado. Some people maybe not, but even if you don't, it's another thing that's very easy to work into your diet. You can put it in your soups. I love Chewy's soup, and it has lots of avocado in it.
Mm.
You can put it in your salads. You can use the avocado oil. That's what my wife cooks with all the time. When I do popcorn, I use avocado oil, and oh boy, it's so good. It makes the
Mm.
popcorn taste so good. And the popcorn's great for roughage. And
Yeah, you
so,
need that too. Yeah.
yeah, but you have to be careful when you're making your popcorn. You need to be careful what kind of oil you use. And I suggest that you use avocado oil because it's rich in potassium and it's good for your heart rhythm. So work that into your diet. I think there's a recipe on the Body of Health for making ice cream using avocados.
Oh.
So it makes the ice cream very creamy. The
Mm.
next one is blueberries for anti-aging and for oxidative stress. Blueberries are the best berry, and I just love them. They taste so good. And after every meal, my wife makes Jello, yogurt, blueberries, strawberries, collagen, and a different kind of nut every day. Maybe it's a walnut today or a almond tomorrow, but mix that all up. Oh, what a dessert. And it's so healthy. It's so great for you. And so the next one just happens to be walnuts. Walnuts are the very best food for the brain.
Mm.
And if you crack an English walnut open and just look at the meat of it, it looks exactly like a brain.
Mm.
Is,
Yeah, that's
isn't,
right. It does, doesn't it?
isn't that amazing how nature kind of gives you hints? You say, look,
Yeah.
this looks like a brain. It's good for your brain. It's good for cognitive function and for processing speed.
Hmm.
And if you're doing things like we're doing, where you have to think on your feet, you want to have you want to have those two things. But I love walnuts. I could just eat them all the time. So then the last thing, and it's funny that it's mentioned with blueberries. A blueberry is really good, a great antioxidant.
Hmm.
But the next thing on this list for your brain is cacao. If you take the same amount of cacao, which is really dark, it's what chocolate's made of. It's a really, really dark raw chocolate. You take the same amount of chocolate as one blueberry, it has 40 times the antioxidants. 40 times.
Wow.
That's why after every meal and after every dessert, I drink some morning clarity coffee with some candy that's made from cacao.
Mm.
And so I'm getting a double,
Oh,
double because
yeah.
I'm getting the mushrooms plus the cacao. So those things are great for your heart health, your bloodstream. They boost your brain power, antioxidants to keep you young. I had people mention I'm 78,
Hmm.
and people will say, "Well, your skin doesn't look like it's 78." Well, it did before I had the stroke. That was that was years and years
Yeah.
ago. But
Yeah.
after the stroke, when I started eating more healthy, the things that we're talking about here, then my skin, the wrinkles kind of went away. You know,
Mm.
uh, my hair hasn't all come back, but for 78,
It ain't bad.
yeah, it's okay. I'm happy with it.
Yeah. Well,
So go ahead.
well, I was just going to say it just seems to me that this cacao mixed with the blueberries, mixed with the walnuts. I'm not sure about the avocados in this mixture per se, although I'd be willing to give it a shot. Sounds to me like that would make a pretty good salad or just a breakfast or something like that. It just all of this stuff, and boy, you're going to boost that brain power in a really big way.
Yeah, be sure to go to the website and get the menu plan for a week. You don't have to use it all in a week. You can spread it over a month or even several months if you
Hmm.
want to. But that's a great thing to have because it took me a long time. My wife and I spent a long time trying to come up with things that I really loved to eat. And we've been doing it for 6 years. And now I tell you what, when I sit down to a meal, I tell my wife, I'm eating like a king. This is great stuff.
Yeah.
And it's much better and much more healthy. And I look more forward to my meals now than I did from
Yeah.
before.
Well, I have to tell you that my wife and I have been making some shifts, gradual shifts in our eating habits and so forth. One of my favorites, of course, and maybe this will pop up here a little bit later, is when I like buying big ones. Okay, whether it's russet potatoes or sweet potatoes, and that's where I'm going with this sweet potatoes. I like
Yes.
buying the big ones. I slice them up. I put them in a pan. I drizzle a little bit of maple syrup on it and put a little butter underneath, what have you. Put it in the oven, and usually I'll bake them for maybe, oh, I don't know, an hour, maybe close to an hour and a half, because it takes a little while. And when they come out, oh man, you don't need anything else with those. They are fantastic. And that's another thing too when it comes to salads, especially if you got a bunch of leafy greens and those kinds of things, avocados and on and on and on. If we make a huge salad and I'm really, really hungry, I don't have to worry about, let's just say, getting fat on the salad, gaining weight or what have you, because most of it is water. And then the rest of it is, of course, it's the roughage, if you will. We've talked about that as well.
Mhm.
And so I can eat as much as I want of that and feel full and enjoy it because the flavors. And see, that's another part of this, Dennis, that we want to talk about too as we continue on here is yeah, there are some things that they don't taste so great. Like, oh, I don't know, apple cider vinegar, for example, which we've mentioned many times.
Right.
Not so great by itself, but if you put it in something and make it palatable for yourself, to me, that is really important. This process of discovering not just these new ways of boosting your health, but these new foods that have these new tastes you've never had before.
Right.
And it's almost like a little, the little kid will say if mom puts before them celery or tomatoes or something else that I don't like tomatoes. Have you ever had one? Well, no, but I know I don't like them. Well, I wasn't a real big fan of radishes until I got into my teens and I started them again, and really very, very good. They have a nice tang to them. There is a little bit of heat there, but it's not a lot. It's very good. And of course, tomatoes as well. I've never eaten one like you would an apple. And I know there are people that do. They'll just take a bite out of the tomato and away they go. But the thing that I think is real important, Dennis, we could talk about this later, is making sure that whatever you're taking in, you either you find a way to take it in where it doesn't disturb your taste buds. We'll put it that way, okay?
Yes.
Or you create it in some kind of a mixture that is palatable for you.
Yes.
Because who wants to continue to take something that tastes terrible? I mean, I
Right.
know, Dennis, you said that this was good for me, but I can't stand it. It's just like, you've talked about this with certain things too, but you
Right.
found other ways to take it in. We're going to
Right.
talk more about this. Well, go ahead, Dennis. I'll let you
Well,
share here.
an example of that is apple cider vinegar. I struggle with that because it's necessary. It's for your health and longevity. You really need to have it. And then we developed the apple cider vinegar ACV gummies that
Hmm.
actually taste really good. So now I've solved the apple cider vinegar problem, and they're available on the Body of Health
Yep.
.life. In fact, we got a great special going on right now
Well, we'll
with
talk
those.
we'll talk about that as we continue. We're talking here on the Body of Health series with Dennis Henson, yours truly, Reverend Dr. D. Always remember, we aren't doctors. We're just sharing what we have experienced in our lives. Dennis has put together all kinds of great stuff at bodyofhealth.life. Please go there. In addition to that wonderful morning clarity coffee that's infused with mushrooms. It's got all kinds of other stuff, things that we've talked about. I bet you could find cacao. You could find maybe, I don't know about walnuts per se, but I'm sure you could find most everything that we've been talking about on this program at bodyofhealth.life. We also encourage you to go to dennisjhenson.com, click on the health tab, and in addition to being taken, if you wish to go to the website bodyofhealth.life, you can also go to the Facebook page, the group Body of Health. And if you scroll down after you've clicked the health tab, you're going to see all of the information that has been shared on this program and on this series of programs. So please avail yourselves of that. And then Dennis is going to share with us a little bit later on this whole menu that we're going to talk about as well as we continue talking here on Tell Me Your Story. Reverend Dr. D, Dennis Henson. And a reminder to always check with your healthcare professional before you jump into some of these things. We want you to stay healthy and well and vibrant. And we hope that you're already there and that, as I've always said, Dennis, there's always room for improvement. Okay?
Absolutely.
Always room for improvement. I sometimes think about that. And of course, I'm always using the car as an analogy. There are guys that'll buy a car and then as time goes on, they start tinkering and they start to refine the little parts of the engine to get maybe more fuel efficiency or more power, more horsepower, and those kinds of things. Or maybe they'll do something to the interior to make it more comfortable when you're driving, maybe a better sound system or better cooling or heating system, and on and on and on and on and on. That's kind of what we're talking about here with the body. We're just trying to help you to do that. And of course, we finished off with cacao as one of the items on this list, and it's good to know that we enjoy what we eat, as I was mentioning earlier. What do you recommend for systemic repair and inflammation and the inflammation shield, which we have sort of, I would say, concluded that that's sort of the root cause of most of what ails us?
The problem there is this is the most neglected part. You just don't think about inflammation. And over the years, it takes over your body and it causes all of the things that kill you. It causes the cancer, it causes heart attack, it causes stroke, it causes, any terrible disease don't just happen. It just, you wake up one morning and you have cancer. Well, that didn't just happen. It happened over a long period of time because you neglected to do something that nobody ever mentioned. And that's why we have these programs so that we can say, hey, look, you need to make these changes so that when you hit age 70, there's a cliff waiting there for you. I mean, it is.
I
There
know.
just is. There's a time clock. And when you hit that around that age, what you do now will determine what happens to you when you hit that cliff. Are you going to fall 5,000 feet and die? Or are you going to fall on a foam mattress and get up and walk away?
Yeah.
Well, what you do, what you eat now, and what you put in your body now is going to determine that. So, one great thing to put in your body, especially if you like fish, is wild caught salmon.
Mm-hmm.
Great source of not vitamin, omega-3 fats.
Mm.
Now, if you're allergic to seafood, as some people are, and you can't eat wild caught salmon, you can take omega-3. You can take the omega-3 fats. And they're great for joint repair. So I walk every day, and if you've tuned in before, I walk every day. I walk a
Mm-hmm.
lot. I take my dog. I listen to health things while I'm walking. And sometimes my knees start to pain,
Mm-hmm.
Those long, long walks, sometimes my knees. So when that happens, all I do is increase the omega-3 fats, and the next day I have no pain.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing? I mean,
Yeah.
it's just you put it in, you take the pills. I chew the pills, I chew the pills up and swallow the omega fat, and then I give the rest of the pill to my dog because it's good for him too.
Yeah.
And we're both happy, and he's got a little treat, and it's made my heart healthy and my joints healthy. But it's much better if you can eat the natural wild caught salmon. So if you can work that into your diet, that's super.
Yeah.
The next one is similar, extra virgin olive oil. Now, you can get olive oil in the grocery store, but that's really not what you want to get. You want to get extra virgin olive oil. You want the quality
Yeah.
of olive oil that you put into your body for your vascular system, and it's a great antioxidant boost. And so people say, well, you can't cook with it because if you get it heated to a certain, it loses all its potency. But that you don't have to cook with it. You can put it on your salad, and
Mm-hmm.
it's delicious. You can mix up a number of spices and
Oh, yeah.
little. What are these little bitty tiny berries that are? I mean, not the little tiny seeds that are they're black and they're really, really good for you. Mix that in with olive oil and some Celtic salt and several different spices, and you put that on your salad. And, oh my gosh, it's wonderful for you. And
I'm gonna throw out a couple things. Either I want to say chia seeds.
yes, chia seeds. Yes, chia seeds are so good for you, and they're great for roughage, and they have just all kinds of wonderful
Hmm.
things that if you eat those that happen to you. And then the next one is turmeric. Now, turmeric is like a miracle spice. But what you may not know is that if you mix it with black pepper, you get 200 times the benefit
Mm.
just by mixing a little black pepper in it. And it's great also for joint discomfort. And it's a systemic inflammation shield. Now, you do not want to have inflammation. That's what's going to kill you over time. So just mixing a little turmeric in with your food. I take the pills and I also put it on. I mean, the only thing about turmeric that's bad is if you get it on your clothes, you'll wish you hadn't,
Yeah.
because it's going to turn them orange and it's going to be very difficult to get out. And then if you wash those clothes with other clothes, then you're going to have a whole what is it, washing machine full of orange clothes.
You might even stain the inside of the drum. That's possible. I don't know, but nonetheless, continue.
Well, and then the last one is pasture raised eggs. Now, what could be better? I mean, that's you're probably going to have them have eggs for breakfast anyway. Just make sure they're pasture raised eggs. They're a complete um, food for your tissue, protein for rebuilding your tissue, and they also support your eye and brain cells. So, if you want to be able to see well for a long time and have a healthy brain, eat a lot of eggs.
Mm.
So anyway, that's your systemic repair for inflammation. Let's just go over there. Wild caught salmon, extra virgin olive oil, turmeric with black pepper, and pasture raised eggs.
Yeah, all of that I love. As a matter of fact, when I first saw and you started mentioning the wild caught salmon, it just reminded me of the very first time, and it was recent, that I cooked fish again for the first time in my life. And I was cooking it for myself and a friend of mine that was visiting. And the moment that I took it off the fire and served it up and I started eating it, I was blown away. First of all, oh my gosh, I did it right the first time. That was good. But it tasted so good. Now, granted, it was not salmon. And I'm looking at trying wild caught salmon. But fish, just fish in general. Oh man. And they say that, if you cook fish in the house and that smell, that aroma, if you will, of fish kind of lingers for a while. Well, it was there for maybe a few hours, but it didn't smell bad at all because I enjoyed it. It was really good. So, man, if you can find that wild caught salmon, and I'm sure that there are places all over the place where you can order it, maybe online if you can't find it locally, please do so. What we're going to do right now is remind you you are listening to Body of Health with Dennis Henson and Richard Dugan, Reverend Dr. D, here on Tell Me Your Story. The websites we want to send you to, Dennis, are yours, DennisJHenson.com, where you can click on the Health tab, and off you go to all of these different wonderful places, whether it be Facebook to join the Body of Health group on Facebook, or if you want to take a tour through the bodyofhealth.life store, if you will, or if you want to scroll down and get the information that we've been providing here. Then there's another website. It is realimpactbook.com. That's another place you want to go to feed your brain. All right. And we encourage you to go there. You also have a tab at dennisjhenson.com for your library. And it's not just Real Impact Daily Inspiration that's available there, but there are all kinds of other books, both about real estate, yes, because that's sort of your forte, but also about inspiration, encouraging people to do the things that they would love to do. So put the good things into your body and the really good things into your brain by getting a copy of one of these books that you make available. I love the ones where you've got, because I've seen these many times, where you have this list of 5 or 7, of the natural laws or the laws of the universe, or those kinds of things, and those have been around for years. I'm trying to remember the gentleman's name now. The author, you probably know who I'm thinking of, with the 7 habits, I think it is, of successful people, something like that. And I interviewed him many, many years ago. Uh,
Stephen Covey.
Stephen Covey, yeah. And it's just incredible. So, folks, get there and do that. Now, the amazing thing about these foods that we're talking about, that act as a natural shield, and we have a few more items that we want to talk about here on this list. So let's talk about the finishers and how do these wrap up our protocol?
Well, these last ones prime your pump and provide daily energy and long-term cellular health. And the first one is another one that I don't particularly care for, but
Sorry.
it's extremely good for you, and it's beets.
Ah.
And if you can work those into your salads or your diet or whatever, I actually take pills that have the nitrous oxide. That's why beets are so good for you. Uh, I said it was pills, it's actually a powder. It's L-arginine and citrulline. That's what stopped me from having strokes. And
Mm.
that's what beets have the L-arginine. I'm sorry, they have the nitrous oxide uh, in those that if you have strokes in your family or you've had a stroke, you need to try to work beets into your diet as much as you possibly can. The next one is kiwi, and I love kiwis. I mean, I could just eat too many of them. If you eat too many of them, it may hurt your stomach because they have so much vitamin C in them, lots of acid in them. But just don't overdo it. But
Yep.
they have vitamin C and vitamin K, and they're super support for your digestion. And the next one is spinach. Oh, I love spinach. I tell you what, just cook spinach with butter. Oh, put Celtic salt on it and have that as one of your side dishes. You can also have spinach in your salad. We're spending a lot of time talking about salads today. Salads are really good for you, especially leafy green salads. And just make sure that spinach is one of those leafy greens. It's high in magnesium and essential minerals, along with Celtic salt. So you're going to put the Celtic salt on your salad. You're going to really make sure you get all the minerals you need. And then the last one is green tea. Uh, I don't know. Green tea just makes you live longer.
Mm.
People in areas of the world where they drink a lot of green tea
Mhm.
live to be 100 years old. So that's a pretty good testimonial, I would think. So it helps to repair your damaged cells, and it helps you go into autophagy without having to diet. I think that's a pretty good deal. I mean, yeah, those long-term dieting can be painful, but if you just
Mhm.
drink green tea, you get the same effect. I think that's a pretty great thing, and it's a metabolism boost.
I've also heard that another part of the green tea mixture here, maca. Tell us what that is.
Well, that's a good question. It's a plant that they chop it up into a powder,
Hmm.
which gives you pretty much the same um, benefits as the green tea. Triggers autophagy, metabolism boost. Um, Sometimes some people mix it with their coffee. I mixed it with my morning clarity, but I don't do that anymore. So you have to have a taste for it, I guess.
Right.
But you can mix it in with your salads, and it's it's very very powerful supplement.
Now, much of what we talk about on this program is going to have a fairly a good long shelf life. Not everything, okay, but many things. So you're not going to have to go out and buy it over and over and over again if you store it. And that might be a subject maybe for entry into another segment of a program that we might do down the road. But I know that in spite of the fact that they put these best if used by on some of the things you buy in the store, okay, And I did this, and I couldn't believe. On the one hand, I couldn't believe this. And I went to take a drink, and this was actually a dairy product, and it was sour. It had turned, and I looked at the best if used by, and I still had 2 or 3 days.
Mm.
So I stopped buying it from that brand because before I was buying it somewhere else, and it said best if used by, and I went past it by a week, and it was just fine. And it's like, what happened? What went wrong? And it's almost as if they want you to keep buying it, so they're going to make it only last so long, so that it forces you to go every week, every 10 days or 2 weeks, whatever. Whereas if you're going with a lot of the natural stuff, yeah, it doesn't last forever. I mean, you can only keep blueberries in the fridge so long, right, Dennis?
Right, yes. Well, a lot of things can be determined by the smell test. My wife would just eat anything, but that's not me. I'll look at something and I'll smell of it. If it doesn't smell good, I won't eat it. I think that's a pretty good test. Or if it starts tasting a little bit clammy, I'm just very careful with what I put in my body. I don't care what the date says. If it says then that Norma will argue with me. She said, well, it's got another week, but it doesn't smell good, so I'm not going to eat it.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty good because I'm pretty healthy and I don't get sick very often. And she's kind of just the opposite. And I think that may have something to do with it.
Absolutely. Another break here as we let you know that you are listening to The Body of Health here on Tell Me Your Story with Dennis Henson and yours truly, Reverend Dr. D. And we are going to wrap things up here in just a moment. Just a reminder of the websites. The first one that you're going to want to do, it's sort of the master control website. It's DennisJHenson.com, where you can get to the bodyofhealth.life website through that website and click on the health tab at DennisJHenson.com. You can also get to the Body of Health group on Facebook through that same website at the health tab, and also to the information that's provided on this program through the Body of Health, through the Dennis J. Henson Health tab. And we hope that you will do that as we continue here on Tell Me Your Story. Well, Dennis, as usual, time goes flying by, and this has been quite literally a masterclass in biological fueling. And, again, I'll say it again, if you put the wrong fuel in your car's gas tank, you're going to be in a world of hurt. Now, it really shows that we have the power to choose. I talk about that in my book, Choices, 5 Steps for Life. And that's, of course, making those choices for our future at the grocery store, or if you've got one nearby, a farmer's market, even better. So let's talk a little bit about this wonderful thing that you've got available for our listeners and viewers.
Well, it's a 5-day health and longevity menu based on what we've talked about today, because you probably didn't sit down and write everything down. So we wrote everything down for you, and we put it in a menu so that you'll know where to go, what to get at the grocery store, and start changing what you put in your body and start making your body more healthy, so you'll live longer and you'll feel better. That's the whole reason that we're doing this.
Exactly.
So anyway, it was a lot of fun. I hope it helps a lot of people, and I look forward to next week's program.
I'm just amazed at how fast the time goes on these programs. It just flies by, and I enjoy it myself. Folks, just a reminder again, as Dennis just mentioned, we hope that you will take advantage of this 5-day health and longevity menu available through bodyofhealth.life. Please visit that website, bodyofhealth.life, where you can also get articles, as has been mentioned throughout these programs, from all the previous programs. Dennis, once again, thank you so much for joining me here, and I'm looking forward, as you said, to next week's edition of Body of Health here on Tell Me Your Story, New Paradigms for a New World. We're giving you choices and knowledge of those choices to help make your dreams come true. We are here every Wednesday at 8 a.m. with this edition of Tell Me Your Story, the Body of Health series. But we're also here Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m., Sundays at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., Monday morning at 1 a.m., and then Wednesday at 9 a.m. following this program with our special edition of Tell Me Your Story with Lumari of Lumari.com. And we hope that you will listen. We have all these programs in their full length at podcasting on SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, Stitcher, Player FM, Blueberry, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. We're also on YouTube and Rumble. We hope that you will subscribe and click notification. We also would hope that you would go to Amazon and pick up a copy of my book, Choices, 5 Steps for Life, available in hardcover, paperback, and Kindle. And we also hope that if you can support us financially, we would be ever so grateful. Again, I always say this, thank you to those who have helped and to those who will support what we're doing here. Be a part of what we're trying to do to change the world a little at a time, one person, one program at a time. We also hope that you will take some time during this decade of perfect vision, the 2020s, and go within. This is real important, even in the context of what we've been talking about here on Body of Health, to listen to and follow the promptings of that still small voice. I always say, if it resonates with you, if it feels good, then consider the possibilities. But in the context of any kind of medical advice, please consult with your primary care physician, your alternative health practitioner, whoever it is that you see, as far as what's going to work for you. So we hope you'll do that. And finally, we want to thank you again for joining us here on the program. And until our next broadcast, podcast, videocast, love to all. Jeanette, I'm still listening. Dad, continue to be happy because I am. Smokey, I'll see you on the other side. Mike, thanks for being in my life and letting me be in yours. To my dear friend Zorro, aho, aho. And to my dear brother, Michael, hey, congratulations, Dad.